Yo, everybody, it's me, Pops Van Zant from the Madness Comic Network, and I want you to have a heads up and look out for our sign-up page for the Roku campaign on Kickstarter. We're going to be trying to get the funding to get the Roku channel set up for people like that guy, the guy who's recording this, can get his show up there on Roku and start getting monetization today. So check us out, sign up, be ready. Peace.
Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Van Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. Uh-huh. So come get some. CromCon. CromCon.
Fairview's coffee has mysteriously gone missing. Mayhem ensues when strange, coffee-craving zombies plague the city. Detective Mickey Potatoes, an overworked public servant, uncovers why ordinary citizens are losing their minds and how to stop the coffee apocalypse. But it involves the mafia. And when you're dealing with mafia crime families, nothing is ever easy. The mafia controls everything in the city, including the police, including him. If he breaks the mafia, they will break him. So, the city is without coffee. The city is burning before his very eyes, but he's powerless. Detective Potatoes has the power to stop the coffee apocalypse, but if he does, he could lose everything.
is Path of the Pale Rider anyway? Is it a comic book? No, that's not it. Is it this? What the heck is Path of the Pale Rider, man? There's no way this is right. How about this? I have no idea.
We can rob a bank.
Oh, it's this.
The Madness Comic Network and comic-related madness proudly presents Madness Tuesday Morning Brew. Tune in to our content on Comic Talk with Pops Van Zandt on YouTube.
What is up? It is Tuesday, and I already feel like I need a drink, hence why I'm in the bar today in Path of the Pale Rider. I don't know. This bar's kind of a rough place. I don't know if I'd want to go to this bar. Honestly, I would not want to go to Santa Claus, but that's me personally, because I know all the shenanigans that happen there. Before I give you all the updates on Path of the Pale Rider, and there is a ton, so I'm gonna go fast because I want to get to our guest. I want to make sure that everybody knows that we are launching the Madness Comic Network Roku Kickstarter on the 2nd, September 2nd. There's a bunch of people signed up. As you can see, there are 77 followers on this project. If you are not signed up, let's get you signed up today. Let me get you that hello, copy. Buttons hate me this morning. I was trying to play the sponsor ads and it was like, nope. And then nope. And then nope again. It's already there up top, but just in case you're tuning in now, I just dropped it in the comments. Click the link and sign up. There's going to be so many cool things on this Roku. I don't know if you guys seen some of the things I've talked about on my platform, but if you are a content creator like myself, like Barney, who's going to be on today, like any of the creators that are here on the Madness channel, we are constantly battling copyright claims that are bogus, YouTube blackout screens that make no sense. Like if they're the horror club, right? The horror movie club, they play a movie trailer, which is played, it's public. They want you to watch the trailer because then it's people watch the movie, right? They black the screen. So it messes up the show. So again, there's so many platforms out there as a creator where you want to have your content seen, but they're constantly pulling down, and there's trolls that can make it even worse. So we're building a Roku. Come along with us. We're going to have a ton of content. If you're a fan of the network, there's stuff for you. If you're a content creator, there's a place for you to bring your content to the Roku channel. There's all sorts of different things. There's stuff, there's comics, there's PDFs. It's kind of really awesome. There's a bunch of stuff that you can participate in, and you can even get a Roku stick if you don't have one. I don't have one. I need one. So lots of stuff here. So make sure you save this. It's launching this week, the weekend, and then you can see all the wonderful things that we've put together for all y'all. I said all y'all. Isn't that crazy? Oh no. I'm becoming a Texan. In Path of the Pale Rider Camp, oh my Lord, we got books. We got books. I'm going to show you real quick. This is live, the pre-launch. So this is launching on September 18th. If you are not signed up for notification, you can go there. Let me get you that link. I have lots of really cool. I always have cool stuff up my sleeves, and you know I do. Hey, John, what's up, man? I love how your little emoji has a cowboy hat because it just works for my comic, right? Fits in with my bar scene back here and all the stuff that I do. It's like add a cowboy hat and it just becomes like, I don't know, 45% cooler. 45? That seems like a low number. Maybe like 85? 85 is better. 85% cooler with the cowboy hat. I love it. So here's the link, people. Click on this. It will take you to the pre-launch page. You can hit that green notify me upon launch. It'll send you an email that says Path of the Pale Rider is live. You can hop on those early bird specials. You can hop on those exclusives. I always have really cool stuff up my sleeves. The secret reward is super cool this time, and it's not expensive. The secret rewards the last 2 times have been like over $100. And this time it's like, I think 85. I can get away with it. So jump on that one for sure, because those are always a little bit warped and they're handcrafted by yours truly. So that's all coming. But you guys saw that we got books, right? So Path of the Pale Rider 3 is in hand. I have Marco's cover. Beautiful. Oh, that's a good angle. This is the Angelo Aquino cover. So cool. I mean, these turned out so good. So good. David Sanchez cover. This beautiful, mysterious lady that you have yet to meet. Jude's on the path. He'll meet her eventually. And then you're going to want to see her. She's interesting. Of course, Big James. How could we not have a Big James cover? This is the Everett Watkins cover. Everett Watkins, by the way, is going to be designing the t-shirts for our next campaign. So if you love Everett Watkins stuff, because he's done a cover every time, this time I just didn't have a slot for him. But he's doing our t-shirts, which I'm really excited about because I had a great idea and I just couldn't execute it myself. I needed that higher level. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm an artist, but I'm not like, that kind of artist. And of course, the beautiful lady who has her bits out. This is the William Russell cover. This is Death by Snoo Snoo. These are all in stock. So if you backed a level that does not require a signature on the cover, those have been shipped. The only ones that have not shipped is the Path of the Pale Sauce, which I am processing today. Those will ship this afternoon. I just needed to do something because the box situation is different because I'm shipping you a glass bottle of hot sauce. So a little bit tricky, but we have a solution and that's really cool. I don't know if you guys remember, I had kind of a secret Indiegogo. I don't know. I don't think anybody really saw it. I didn't really promote it very much, but it was there. It was kind of like a second chance campaign. And I ran these beautiful foil covers. And oh my Lord, I'm going to blow myself up. That's my campaign. I didn't want that. Did I do that? Hey, good morning. Wait, look. Stupid. Okay, so that's issue number 1 with Big James. We have issue number 2 with a disc and a live disc. And we have issue number 3 where Death breaks. So this is Death. And these are super exclusive. I think I ran 10 total between all 3 issues. So holy moly, if you got one of these, congratulations, because there's like 2 or 3 out there and that's it. I think issue 2 had 4 copies. Issue 3 and 1 had 3 copies each. And one of them are mine. So it's not that many out there. It's really cool. Will I do more of these? Nope, they're super exclusive. You might be able to hop on the one I do for 4, and that's probably about it. But they're super cool, and I love them, so I'm definitely going to do more. There might be an opportunity for some alternative type of covers coming up on number 4. I've been running the metals. They're beautiful, but there's something else out there too. So, but you'll have to go look at the Kickstarter when it launches to see what else I have up my sleeves. Because I'm working on some cool stuff. There are going to be some trucker hats. We've already said that. And then these other covers. You're just gonna have to look. So today I have a special guest, and Barney and I go way back. Like, I had just started talking about running a Kickstarter, and this was like back in 2020, right? And we published in 2022. So Barney and I were on each other's radar back in 2020, and I had no idea what I was doing. I had no clue about indie comics or was part of the community. And Barney was actually influential in my success. He actually introduced me to Jeff Haas, who people know as a great publicist. And without Jeff, I would not have succeeded. That kind of ignorance is bliss when you run your first Kickstarter. And my goal was super high for a first time comic creator with nothing. Yes, I do have one planned. I'm going to be launching on September 18th, and you will see my launch party here on the Madness. We haven't figured out the time yet, but probably around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock Eastern, probably 7 o'clock Eastern. We'll work out the details, and when we get it worked out, we'll announce it. But right now, we're kind of tied up doing the Roku stuff because that's launching first. So both my launch party and my countdown party will be on Mondays. So September 18th launch, October 16th will be the countdown. So both on Mondays. So like probably right after Monday Madness, I'll hop on and we'll launch and do all the shenanigans. So I'm not sure who you are because it just says Facebook user, but I'm glad you asked that question, Facebook user. And here on the Madness, here, right here, dude. The best place there is, right here on the Madness. Anyway, I'm going to bring in Barney. We can wax. We can talk. Oh, Charles, what's up, man? Sorry. I'm gonna bring in Barney. He's a wonderful writer, creator, and very skilled at what he does, which is also podcasting and interviewing creators. And that's where my journey began. So everybody say hello to Barney. Woo! Good morning, Barney. How are you?
How's it going? Do I need my headphones on? Is there any echo on your side, or does it sound good?
No, you're fine, dude. Sounds good.
Okay. All right, good.
I know you got a monster setup, so I love it. It's like, look at all the things.
Look at
Charles,
all the
you're up
things.
early, man. Are you always up this early? I'm just curious. What time is it by you, Barney?
Well, I'm on the East Coast. But I was up late last night. I was on the podcast with it was fun. It was, let me pull that up there. So as a dad, I'm usually in bed by like 9:30, and then I might pull up and read like an issue of Path of the Pale Rider to help me go to sleep, and but so I got this because Jeff is helping me do the rounds like he did for you the first time,
right?
And then so I ended up staying. So he sent me this link with it was the podcast, the Pod Guys podcast I was on last night. They start recording at 10 p.m. Yeah.
Wait. I think Carissa with you.
It was no, it wasn't Carissa. It was Tony and Kevin Neary and Sparky. They were the ones that were on it.
Man,
and
some of them run late.
Yeah,
it was like I was up until 4 a.m. and I was like, dude, like the things we do, right, to get eyes on the prize.
See, like, what? And I was on there. It was, and here's the thing: there's a psychological piece of it. If I look at the time after, then I can't sleep because I just wonder how much sleep I'll have. So what I do, I'm very deliberate. I turn my clocks around. I take off my watch. I don't even look at what time it is, and then I just go to sleep. So I honestly don't even know how long it was. How long when we ended up recording. We finished recording. So it was a good night, So but it was fun. I was able to go on some of my rants about some of my comic book rants, and then I went on I didn't get to go on my diatribe about Bluey. That's another thing I can go on.
I don't think I've heard that one.
Oh yeah, so I've been man,
I'll touch on that later. We'll get through the good stuff about project and who you are, and I'll make sure everybody knows, and then we can go on a rant about Blue. I would love to hear what you have to say about Bluey because my kids watch that show, of course. I have two girls, they're 6 and 9. They love Bluey. Bluey, and some of it's really funny and good, but I haven't watched it all.
Yes, it was because I got I got the 3 kids. I got the 9-year-old, the 7-year-old, both girls, and then I got the 3-year-old boy. So
so they're watching Bluey.
They're watching Bluey. Yeah,
of course.
Man, I tell you, yeah.
We'll circle back to that. I promise.
Get a circle back to Bluey.
I'm We'll do the wraparound. Charles, dude, I feel you, man. He says this is hella early for me, and I get you. I'm there right. I don't know. Yeah, like I got good sleep last night, but the night before I didn't. So I don't get it, man. It's like I got great sleep last night. I should feel rejuvenized, re-energized, but I'm not. I'm dragging. I'm drinking coffee like it's, man.
So here's the thing. Laurie. So that we have the chemical, the adrenaline we get when we wake up in the morning actually begins to depress 2 hours after you wake up.
Oh, we're screwed, Barney.
2 days. So 2 hours after you wake up is that adrenaline starts to depress. So here's the thing. So I always tell people this. Start drinking coffee. Don't drink coffee as soon as you wake up, because what happens is it messes up your balance, your balance. So what you need to do is start drinking coffee 2 hours after you wake up, because that is when you actually need the coffee, because when you wake up, you're awake. And so that adrenaline that's in your system starts to depress 2 hours after. Start drinking, because if you drink coffee as soon as you wake up, you actually start to, then your body stops creating the adrenaline that actually is good. And when you do that, you actually end up not having caffeine headaches, because you don't have that. You don't actually have that issue of maybe making sure that you need to. You're not having that chemical reliance on the caffeine. So
I hear you. I think I saw a TikTok or something that said the exact same thing. I'm like, this makes sense. Hello, Facebook user. Not sure who you are, but sending you some love this morning, some love and caffeine. Because that's what we need. So you can always tell me who it is. So Barney, I was just, who dis? I spent a decade at a night shift and never could adjust back. Oh shoot. I'm awake 2 to 4. Oh yeah, this is Charles. This is why my shop opens at noon. LOL. Yep. Dude, we got a puppy not too long ago, and that messes up your sleep schedule too, because they got to go out in the middle of the night. So even though I'm with Barney, where it's like I try to go to bed like 9:30, 10 o'clock, I stay up until 11 to take the puppy out, because he can sleep until 6 if he goes at 11. It doesn't always work. Sometimes he's up at 4. But anyway, back to our relationship and how it began. So it's crazy to think about how far we've come since then. And it's only been, it's 2023. It's 3 years. But at that point, like I had nothing. I had maybe an artist that ended up leaving. I had my script. Like I hadn't run a Kickstarter. I hadn't done anything. And you were looking for guests, which is way different now, because now guests are pounding on your door like, can I come on your show? And you're like, yeah, I'm booked out to 2027, make an appointment. But I mean, that's just how it goes, right? You continue to work at your craft, and look where we are now. Because I'm 3 issues in and starting 4, and you're running Kickstarters and doing your thing, and a successful podcast with hundreds. How many episodes do you have at this point on Story?
So
Comics?
I have recorded episode 300. It's in the can right now.
Wow.
And so here's the cool thing. So what I do is every 100 episodes, I interview another Barney Smith every 100 episodes.
Do you just look them up on the internet like this one?
So the most famous Barney Smith, I met him before he passed away. He died at like 95 years old. He was a toilet seat artist. So he actually was from San Antonio, Texas. So if you actually Google Barney Smith toilet seat museum, he had well over 1,000. I can't remember how many toilet seats that he actually like painted and designed and actually like made art for. And so I met him before he passed away. I actually visited his museum.
Really?
And it was so funny because I was down in San Antonio for a conference and for my day job at the time. And I said, what am I going to do in San Antonio? And then like I just Googled, and then it said that Barney Smith, like that's the Barney Smith. Because I was always wanted to like throw down on this guy being the more famous Barney Smith. And so I went and met him, and I'm like, hey, Barney, he says, I'm like, you're the first Barney Smith I've met. He's like, you're the first Barney Smith I ever met too. So it was fun. So we hung out. We hung out for like, I didn't like it. It was like 5 hours. I was just hanging out. And it was that his museum was basically like, you call up the Barney Smith Toilet Seat Museum and you're expecting, it's a museum. You're expecting someone, it's him, it's his home phone. I'm like, hey, can I come to the museum? And it's like, yeah, I'll come and open the garage for you. So he actually like, and so I went to his place and he opened up his garage and it's this huge. So if anybody Googles Barney Smith Toilet Seat Museum, you see it's this really nice, really old man. And I hung out, and then I asked him, I said, can I donate? He says, yeah. So he told me exactly what he needs, the dimensions of the toilet seats. He said what kind to get, and make sure you take off this, because it's only the seat cover. It's not the toilet seat itself.
That was my question. I was like, how many pieces of the toilet seat is he using? Does it like open and close?
It's just the cover. So it's so what I did is I took some of my cartoon characters that I've done and I painted it and then I mailed it off, and he told me exactly how to mail it to him and all this kind of stuff. And before he passed away, he wanted to sell the entire museum because he didn't want to lose it. He didn't want it. So this giant place, it's like this giant, it's called the truck yard or something like that. So basically they built an entire building with actually pillars were actually shaped like toilets. Like they actually designed this entire building for him. And then the huge building, for if anybody's down in that part of the world, you'll be able to see.
Where
you'll
is
be
it?
able to.
Is it in Texas?
It is still in Texas. I will tell you exactly where it is. The truck yard. It's called the truck yard.
The truck yard.
Yeah.
You're gonna go see some toilet seat art collection. There you go.
I'll tell you what. I'm gonna send
made
it
by Barney Smith, not this Barney Smith. But I was thinking, feeling that you were like Highlander, like there can only be one, and now that Barney Smith is dead, and you're trying to like inherit his power. No, it didn't happen. Like
so I sent
Barney
you the link.
Dies,
Yes, the truck yard.
Powerful.
Yeah. The truck yard colony. Yeah.
Where is it?
It is in so about us, parking, work with us. I sent you the link on in the private chat if you want to click on that. And so what I did, because he passed away before episode 100 came out, I interviewed the curators of his museum that was on episode 100. So you can look in the, like, if anybody wants to go to storycomic.com, you can find the link and you can listen to the podcast. It's really good. And then episode 200, I decided, like, I think I kind of created a thing. So what I decided to do was then find the second. So I found this rock and roll, like a journalist, a musician journalist from Australia, who's also a musician himself, and a photographer. He came on my show for episode 200. And I had a great time chatting with him. It was such a fun time. And then I just recorded episode 300, and I found another Barney Smith, who's actually a world famous classical music conductor who actually created who created a Grammy nominated a cappella group called Votchis 8. And I reached out, and it was one of those things, like, and so if you ever type in Votchis 8 on
how do you spell that?
I'll send you the link to this.
Votchis, that sounds like a crazy word.
Yeah, so I guess
good morning, Max. Good morning.
So basically, this guy here, whose name is Barney Smith, I reached out to him. I just sent you the link on the there as well in the private chat. So I reached out to him. He's got, if you go to Spotify and go to Votchis 8, they have like 250,000 downloads. He's got 22,000 monthly listeners. Like, he's like this world famous Grammy nominated musical director. And I reached out to him like, hey, so I do this weird thing where, like, I have this podcast and every 100 episodes I interview another Barney Smith.
Barnaby Smith. Here he is.
Well, Barnaby is, but everybody calls him Barnaby is a part of Barney Smith. So
I hear you.
Only his mother calls him Barnaby. Everybody else calls him Barney. So he So I reached out to him and I said, he's probably just going to ignore this email. But sure enough, he, like a day later says, yeah, I'd love to come on your podcast.
Oh
I'm
my
like, that's
gosh,
awesome.
look where he's going,
So,
man. He's going to Tuscany and he's going to
oh, yeah.
London and
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. This guy is huge. Yeah.
You got to live up to some famous people here, sir. Italy.
But I'm happy to say that I am the third most popular Barney Smith.
Are you? This is number 2.
Vermont.
The toilet Barney was number 1.
Yeah. Well, in Vermont, I'm the third most popular one in Vermont, and I'm the second most popular. I'm the second most popular Barney Smith in my town. So I'm working my way up. See, and
I'm telling you,
I am proud to say I'm the most popular Barney Smith in my house. So that's something. So
that's all that counts, man. That's all that counts. And if you're not, I gotta say, what the heck? Oh my goodness. You got to have some kind of like a Highlander event. There was something like that at one point. I think it was like the Battle of the Kevins or something. I forget. There was like some.
No, it was the Ryans. It was a
Ryan.
Ryans.
Yeah. There was a battle where they were like, if your name is Ryan and you live within, whatever, and you want to come to the battle, we're gonna battle it out until there's one left. And they had this like giant pool noodle fight.
Ryan thing. Oh. That's funny.
It was just
there
ridiculous.
Was a Ryan convention where all the Ryans met because they all wanted to. They'll pine for the fact that people just keep calling them Brian. He's like, no.
No! I swear this was like the last one standing. We'll have like the group was named Kevin something, and it's like the reigning Kevin would be like in charge of the group for the year until the next year, and they would all battle again. So Barney's going to show up with a pool noodle and all these other Barney Smiths and just kick their asses. I think that would be awesome. Except for the 95-year-old ones. Like, don't do that. That's not cool. So, hey, everybody. Just so you know, there's 5 days left. 5 days. Go jump on a copy of Ninja Bimbos versus Zombies from Deep Space, issue number 3. Here is the link in the chat. They're kicking butt and taking names because they're ninjas. Not because they're bimbos, but because they're ninjas. And they're having a good time. So go grab your copy before they're done because there's lots of good stuff in there too. Atrocity Press has lots of good books. Lots of good books. You can always go check them out. Hanging out this morning. Anyway, so you've been podcasting for quite a long time.
Yeah.
When did you start?
So I'll tell you my version of the story about how we met. So okay. I want to hear
right.
So basically, it's that as you're saying, it was like early 2020, pre-COVID even. So this
yes,
was like,
it was.
Yeah, it was pre-COVID. So I started my podcast, and what I did is I went on Kickstarter and went in. I went into like the coming soon section of
where we
comics.
Sat for like 2 years.
Yeah, you were there for like 2. So I saw it and I'm like, hey, this looks pretty cool. So I said, let me go ahead and I'm just gonna send a message to this Laurie Calcaterra person and say, who's it? So I said, hey, my name is Barney Smith. I'm doing this podcast, and do you want to come on my show? And you responded, yeah, but you know what? Here, my artist just quit on me. I don't know when I'm gonna be able to do it again, and I just want. And so I'll just take a rain check. I'm like, hey, no, no issue. Do you ever notice like how when we talk about how we're typing, I don't know if it's just a Gen X thing or like, hey, that's no problem. It's like, yeah,
me too. I'm like, hey,
whenever you're ready, I'll be there. And then fast forward 2 years later, you send me an email like in like February 2022 or something like that.
Yeah, it was.
And you're like, hey, I don't know if you remember me. I'm Laurie Calcaterra. Can I come on here? I'm like, of course you can come on my show. Yeah, that's awesome. And then you came on my show, and then I asked you, I was like, and after the fact, I said, Laurie, what other shows are you going on? And you're like, this is the only one. I'm like,
I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, no way. Yeah. Yeah.
And you were like, oh, no. You got to fix that. I was like, how do I fix it? Barney, help. Hey, look who it is, Preem. Good morning, Preem. You're up early too. Well, it's Michigan time. You're on the East Coast, so yeah, it's another hour. But man, I feel like it's 8 a.m. right now. I don't know. I'm still dragging. But yeah, that was our story. Isn't that funny?
See? Yeah.
Yep. And then
you took off, and then just like that. Yep. See,
I contacted Jeff, and he was like, "How many shows do you want to do?" And I was like, how many shows do I have to do to be successful? And he was like, I don't know. That's like such a weird, there's no answer for that, right? It's just like you just keep doing them until you hit your number. I don't know. So it's just like schedule me all of the interviews.
He put in like 40 or something, didn't he? He just
I
like
was
put you
like,
on
I think I did 34 interviews, and I think I hit goal around 29. But again, my goal was like super high for a first one. It was like 45, 50, which is where it stays, right? My goal is always 45, 50, whether we need more or not. It's just that's our minimum.
Right.
Oh, but yeah. Jeff was with me all through. I remember I launched and it wouldn't go. Like I was like, because we were live. And it was like, something is wrong with one of your awards. And I was like, I'll be right back. And like Jeff had to go fix it. Like it was just, newbie stuff, right? But I love that because people were like, well, what if this happens? I'm like, I've done that. I've messed up there. I know how to fix that. You know what I mean? So that's just part of having experience.
Right.
Oh, they already threw your Kickstarter up there. We're going to talk about this for sure because this is not your first book, is it?
This is the first Kickstarter I've done, but this isn't my first book. This is my fifth book I've published. So
fifth.
Yes. Yeah.
Quite
my
accomplished.
fifth.
Quite accomplished. Now, are they all dad jokes or are they different subjects?
No, they were different subjects. So long story short, here's the thing, Laurie. I never get to talk about myself on my show, so I get to.
I know. That's why I'm like, I don't know any of these things, and I've known you.
You don't know anything.
2020. I don't know any of these things because I come on your show.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's why I'm like, this is so cool for you to be here, so I can ask you all the things that I want to know that I never have time to ask you.
Right. See, exactly. So I'll give you the abbreviated version of my life. So, I ended up going into.
You were born.
So, I was born at a very young age. Yeah. So we had I graduated from art school in 1998. And then what any art student who graduates with an art degree does in 1998 is
panic.
Everybody knows this. Join the Peace Corps. So that's what I did. So so I joined the Peace Corps. I fell in love with just working, doing relief work and stuff like that. So I was in the Peace Corps for about 4 years. And then after that, then I went off and got a graduate degree in international education, and still had the bug. And so then I ended up doing work at, chronologically speaking, I was in Pakistan. I worked in there after the earthquake. I was in the Philippines for about a year working in typhoon relief. Then I was in South Sudan, working during their independence, working in independence. Then I was in Zimbabwe during the cholera outbreak. I was there for about a year. Yeah. Then I was in Uganda working in an HIV clinic in Uganda. Then I was in Libya, and I was in Libya during the revolution, dodging bullets and repairing ambulances.
That's dangerous, dude.
Yeah,
all of this is dangerous. All of it.
Yeah, see, it's amazing. See. And then after that, I was in Lagos, Nigeria, working in an urban maternity healthcare clinic. And that's where I met my wife. And I always like to laugh at, so I always like to laugh at the fact that people always talk about the 90-day fiance show. Wow, 90-day fiance. There's no way you're gonna be able to, and that's the trick, is saying, all right, you've only dated someone for 90 days, and now and everybody's like, well, it takes me at least 5 years before I'm ever going to get married. Here's the thing. So it's the same generic story everybody's heard before, Laurie, is that it's everybody's heard the story. It's like slightly overweight Vermont cartoonist marries Nigerian runway model. I mean, it's the generic story everybody's heard.
You're like David Bowie. You married a hot model.
See, exactly. So I ended up, that's the thing, is I ended up, I dated my wife while I was there for 30 days before we got married. So,
oh my Lord.
And now we've been married for almost 11 years. So, and we got 3 kids. So here's the thing. The reason why is because I definitely married up. Yeah, I married up. Oh yeah, I married up big time. And I knew if I dated any longer, she would have found out how much of a goofball I was. I mean, I can keep a facade up.
You're like, now you're stuck with me. Haha.
Yeah, I can pretend to be cool for like 30 days and then I get exhausted. So, so I had to I had to seal the deal. So, But yeah, so even today, after like over a decade of marriage, we'll sit there and we'll be watching TV together. I'm like, why that? You didn't even know who I was. Why would you? Like, I don't understand. Like, people see us in public, and they know why I married you, but they question your. And that's the thing. Never question. And then that was the other joke. Is like never question your wife's judgment because
just kidding.
Yeah. Yes, and never question your wife's judgment because you're one of her judgments.
Right. You're one of her choices.
Never question your wife's decisions.
Right.
So
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You've been married long enough to figure that out.
Yeah. So yeah. And so basically, one of the graphic novels I made is called Lion and Dove, and it's basically it's the continuing saga of internet cultural marriage. So it's about a lion married to a dove, and it's basically it's a sitcom, and it's like our entire marriage is basically a 90s sitcom where like the goofy guy marries the
beautiful woman.
The beautiful woman is like, and people like that would never happen in real life. I'm like, well,
kind of it can.
It can. And that's, and that's the thing, Laurie, is that it's, when it comes to, and people always ask about relationships, and people are like, is that it's, there's no such thing as specific advice that works universally, but I could say the best I could tell, like the closest I can give to any universal advice when it comes to relationships is beauty fades, intelligence can get stagnant, but humor is what keeps a marriage fresh. If humor lasts forever. So if you're able to marry someone and that was the same thing with like, that's the same situation with like Who Framed Roger Rabbit when, Jessica Rabbit murder. People are like, what do you find in him? Yeah. He makes me laugh. As long as I can make my wife laugh, I know I'm in good standing. So that's really what it comes down to.
Great advice. Yeah. That's great advice. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like you still have to be able to laugh together and get along, because again, it's like you start out alone. You have kids. You know what I mean? We had kids, and then eventually they're going to move out, and you're going to be stuck with your spouse, just your spouse again. So hopefully you still like your spouse.
Yeah, you want, and exactly, you need to make sure that there is. You need to make sure that there is it's the same thing when somebody retires from a job. If you made your job your entire part of your life,
your whole identity,
have a life after you retire,
right?
So you need to make sure that, right? So that's why you need to make sure that you have a personality that is about being a spouse as compared to just being independent of yourself or being a dad or being a parent, because then you're reliant on your personality and your identity based off of something outside of who you are. And that's really what it comes like. And that was a piece of it as well, is that when you do eventually have your kids grow up and leave, that you need to make sure that you have plenty of things to still keep you entertained, because like you said, so
I think you and I both have plenty.
Exactly.
Books. Like, I'll still be doing Path of the Pale Rider when I'm 85. No, hopefully I'll be done by then and on to the next thing.
Right. See,
and you're the one that kind of spurred me to get my colorist too, because I think it was, I don't know if it was last interview or the one before, you were like, okay, so you're turning out 2 books a year. And you have 12 books in your first arc. So it's going to be 6 years before we're even out of there. And I was just like,
yeah, I did
Barney, I'm not okay with this.
Yeah.
And you're like, "Do you have any plans to move faster?" And I was like, "Now I do." Like, you need to figure that out. Yeah,
right,
like 6 years from now. Oh my God. And that's if I'm lucky, right? If I'm only doing 2 books a year and something happens. Oh, hey, look, Charles switched to YouTube. Hey, the button. Youngest child's about to turn 18. Oof. And the store is now my child. Yep. See, you need to have something else there. Absolutely. Speaking of lucky number 18, we were talking about marriage and being married a long time. On September 2nd, I will be celebrating my 18th anniversary, my wedding anniversary with my husband. So that'll be nice. We're going to go out to dinner, and kids are going over to grandma and grandpa's, and that'll be a nice night where we can spend out together and have a good meal. But 18 years it's like flies by and feels like forever at the same time. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, thanks. Thank you. Yeah, and retirement. What's that? Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So I'm really looking forward. I know it's the same day that the Roku launches and the same day that Pops turns 60. So there's lots of good, positive vibes happening on September 2nd. So
see, that's a good day too. See?
Yeah. It's Labor Day weekend, and we had a beautiful day back in 2005. So it was a good day.
Right.
Good day. But I digress. Let's talk about dadder jokes. I want to know. So you were talking about how humor is key in relationship, but really humor is key in life. In any situation, it helps you get through, hard times, mundane times, anything. But I love the fact that you do not just humor, dad jokes. Dad jokes.
Right.
Why? Why dad jokes?
See, well, it kind of the impetus of it was I want us to take a journey back to the year 2020.
Okay.
So the year was 2020, and if you all recall, as much as we say the internet is a volatile place today in 2023, the benefit that we kind of forgot the fact that in 2020 you could accidentally get into a fight easily. Like you could get into a fight easily in 2020 by taking a picture of a son, because everything was raw. We had COVID-19. We're going through elections period. We had the George Floyd murder. Like there was so much happening in 2020, and people were just, you could accidentally get into a fight. Like you could take a picture of a sunset and say, what a beautiful sunset today. And then someone could respond to the picture saying, sunsets are caused by air pollution. If you like sunsets, you love air pollution. I'm like, that's not what I said. You know, you can say, we bought a puppy today. And he's like, puppies were made in puppy mills. You need to support.
Right. Why did you buy a new puppy? Go to a shelter and adopt there.
Yeah. Like you could easily. Right. So, so I want to create the caveat is that you could accidentally get into a fight online in 2020. Here, you actually have to, because of the advent of what social media now allows you to block more readily, because before that, you could say, I want to block someone, and then a window would say, do you need to report this? I don't want to report. I just want to block. It's like, if you block, did you talk to the person first? Like, no, I don't want to talk. Like, it's like literally, it was so hard. It was harder.
Why would I want to know?
Right. And so, and then also now you can actually block. You can actually now just curate your own social media feeds now. Is that so? It's actually, unless you're looking to get into a fight with somebody, then you can still do that. Right, you can. So because now it's so much easier. Someone starts to troll you, you can just like, block, never mind, out of my life. But back then in 2020, it was you could always accidentally do something. So what I decided to do was actually take my little neck of the woods on the internet and just every couple of weeks or so, I'd post like a dad joke or some humorous thing. And so what I ended up doing is then said, you know what? I'm just going to post a dad joke every day. So the low hanging fruit first is what I did, is like, the really low hanging fruit ones of, the most gullible chemical element is easily lead. Like, why couldn't a pony talk? He was a little horse. Like, these were the easy ones. I bought coconut shampoo today, but when I got home, I realized I don't even have a coconut. Like, there was all of these, using my invisible hula hoop really freaks people out. Like, these were all the ones that were just so much easier to just, because either ones you can find online, they were easy to do,
Yeah.
If you ever get cold, just stand in a corner for a bit. They're usually 90 degrees. Like, these are the ones that were just super easy to do, and what do you call a hippie's wife, Mississippi? It was so, those were the ones that were just easy to find. And so, but one of the things and then after about a year and a half or so, somebody asked, he said, oh, I wish you'd have a book of all these. I'm like, well, I could do that. Here's the thing. I'm a cartoonist. And so I didn't have to pay an artist to do that. So I designed all my pages. Nice. And because I have 2 daughters, there's no such thing as gender specific chores in our home. So I always have all the pages have some level of a dad thing to do. So there's a lawnmower here. There's a laundry. I do the laundry in my house. So and everything's kind of framed. There's a football, and then there's like fishing. So there's always something that's kind of like a daddish, dad's doing manual labor. There's a shovel, and then there's a computer desk. So all of these things. So not only is this the only that I found the only fully colored dad joke book. The other thing about this book that I'm proud of is that if you buy a joke book, or if you go to you'll end up buying a joke book that actually ends up having something that might be misogynistic, a misogynistic joke, or a racist joke, or something that makes fun of somebody's intelligence, or makes fun of somebody's intellectual disability, or a whole class of people. I'm very happy to say that this joke book is completely and utterly safe. As a matter of fact, my 6-year-old has it in her backpack. She's in first grade. Teacher thinks it's great, and there's nothing in there that's offensive. Some of the jokes they don't get. I mean, but how many ants does it take to fill an apartment? 10 ants. 10 ants. See, and so but now my brother, who works at a stone quarry, has the book with him too, and is so he's surrounded by men's men where they, eat lunchbox, have a lunchbox, and they'll ask, my brother, hey, where's your brother's joke book? Read a couple, so it's completely safe for that. And then my mother's a minister. And she has the book at church. So it's utterly and completely safe for that. And it's not like they're corny jokes in the sense that they're just not funny like a kid's jokes. There's jokes in there that are there, but it's also 100% safe. Because here's the thing too, Laurie, is that based off of the fact of when you buy a joke book for somebody, it represents two things. One, what you think the other person likes, and two, what that other person thinks you think they like.
Right.
So that's the thing. When you buy a joke book and you think even the book, like NPR came out with a joke book, and there's a whole section on making fun of the other political parties on either section on there. So even something along the lines of a book that you would presume would be safe, also makes fun of somebody else at somebody else's expense. So and that's the thing, is when you buy a joke book for somebody, that there is a presumption, I think you'll find this funny. And so the I have an ear for my dad was a colonel. I like that one.
Good job, Preem.
That's the piece of it, is that you don't want to create any presumption of what a person would think is funny, because everybody has their own stories, everybody has their own histories, and also too is that it's a higher art to say something that's actually more of a play on words than it is to actually say something that is derogatory towards an entire group of people. And that's the other thing about that. Hello. And that's the other thing about the book that I'm really happy about, is that it's completely safe.
I love that. That's great, because jokes, I've listened to a lot of stand-up comedy, and it's usually really edgy. Like, it's right on the edge of what people think is safe. You know what I mean? Or a lot of times they just hop right over that line and they pick a topic that is really controversial. And that's kind of where stand-up comedy lives. So it's nice to be able to get a book, because and again, my book, I would consider adult, because the topics and the gruesome violence and et cetera. And my kids are like, can I read this comic, Mom? And I'm like, no, and I have a lot of indie because I support indie, right? So I get a lot of comics and they're like, can I read this? I'm like, no. One that they love to read is Sam Vera's There's an Alien in My Toilet. Again, that's completely safe. It's funny to everybody. I laughed out loud, and my kids can read it. So I love books like that, because it gets them involved in stuff that I'm also interested in, and we can do it together. So I love the fact that your book is completely safe, because it can be like, I can chuckle at it. My husband can chuckle at it. Like you said, your coworkers can chuckle at it. You can get your kids involved. We all can have a laugh together, and we're not, like you said, taking it out at anybody else's expense. So that's refreshing.
Right. And I'm also, one of the other things about it is that it's, I love old time radio. I love old timey radio programs. Yes. Like Jack Benny, Charlie McCarthy, George Burns and Gracie Allen, stuff like that. I've been able to I listen to all those programs. I'm able to actually hear some of the jokes that have been forgotten over the time and tweak them a bit for a modern audience. A good one I just posted the other day was it was an old Charlie McCarthy joke that I tweaked that said that I rewrote it, and it said, I told my wife that when I was in my 20s I was unbelievably handsome, and she responded, "You're right, I don't believe it." So and that's an old Charlie McCarthy joke that you're not going to find around. And the other thing, the fourth thing that makes these books pretty unique is that about 5% of the jokes in there are actually ones that I've kind of invented on my own. Nice. And well, it's not me being super smart. It's the fact that it's a play on words. It takes a rocket scientist to take the word pun and rhyme it with fun. Like it's not, we're not, this is, but one joke that I'm particularly proud of that I've actually seen in the wild a couple of times that I actually invented in 2020 is I was actually going to school with I was dropping off my daughter at school in early 2020. And here in rural Vermont, there is, you see deer, there's a lot of deer around.
Yeah.
But enough where it's not super rare. It's not, but it's common where you kind of like you'd mention it if you're like, "Hey, I saw a deer." So I came back home after I dropped off our daughter at school, and I told my wife, I said, "Hey, you know what? I saw a deer on the way to school today." And she looked at me and she said, "How do you know it was going to school?" And I stared at her. I'm like, that's really funny.
You're like, touche. So
I actually tweaked it a bit and I made it into a joke, because it's also funny because it's almost an homage to Groucho Marx, where Groucho Marx said, he said, "I shot an elephant in my pajamas this morning. How I got in my pajamas, I'll never know." It's almost like it's almost like an homage to that, but I've seen that joke in the wild a couple of times, and it's so funny to know that was something I brought to the world. Is that little pun?
Cream says lately it's been getting harder to find jokes that are safe for everyone nowadays. Yeah, seems like everyone's comedy lately has been punching down or getting in a joke at someone else's expense.
Exactly, and that's what it comes down to, is that it's not funny. Those jokes really end up not being funny anyway. And there was and so the other thing too, Laurie, which I love about this is like the more I've been talking about this, the more I've realized too is like so the good news is I've reached my goal. So we're already goals. So the book's coming out. That's super easy. And the other cool thing about this is that I have some stretch goals that I created. The first one is if we reach 1,000, I'm going to be able to add in 100 more jokes, which adds up to making a book of 600 fully colored jokes.
Cool.
And so I'm also being able to put in, and I've also been able to put in itself as some stretch goals. I didn't even put the stretch goals in.
I was like, I'm still scrolling. I don't see them, dude.
Oh my goodness.
Fired.
Yeah,
you are fired.
And
here's the add-ons. It's not.
Yeah, I got the add-ons on there and the dad joke bookmarks. So look at those bookmarks. What's really cool about those? Go look at those books.
Oh,
so they almost look like they're almost Bible, but they're all dad jokes. So you can actually have the add-on. We can have these.
Wait. I gotta go. I'm going back to the top because I'm gonna get distracted and like a raccoon with shiny things, and I'm just gonna start doing stuff. Oh, look, Charles would like to know if you have any retailer-based goals. Do you have a retail?
I can, Charles. I'd be more than happy to add some in.
Charles. So last time I was running a campaign, and now in campaign 1 and campaign 2, I had retailer tiers, but I didn't know any retailers, right? So when campaign 3 hit, I didn't have any retail tiers. I was like, it's kind of a waste of time. Nobody wants it anyway. And of course, Charles was like, "Where is your retail tier?" And I was like, of course, the one time I don't do it, someone wants it, right? So
right.
Charles is always like, you always got to retail. You always got to have a retail tier. And I'm like, you
got to have a retail tier. I'm going to add in. Yeah. Let me add in that.
This is right up your, this is it. This is what you want. And it's not stupid humor. It's smart humor, but it's still humor. And it's perfect. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's very smart when it comes to like, wordplay, and it's clean. It's good, clean fun.
It's good.
I'm a backer on this already. So can we play
You
your
are.
video?
And thank you. And
Of course.
I actually have on there, you know, I did because I put in the updates. That's what it is. I put in the updates to stretch goals, but I didn't add it to the.
I was going to say, I know it was somewhere because I read it, but it was in the updates. That's right.
It was in the updates.
Like, where did
so
I
let
see
me
that?
add it to the
scrolling. And I always get yelled at on my show because I scroll like this. I'm just like, da 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 da. Everybody's like, stop it.
Slow down.
I'm like, all right. I'll go back to the top though. I would love to play your video for everybody. Can I do that real quick?
Yeah, go for it. It's good.
All right. Brittany, I knew what you meant. I know you didn't mean stupid. I just don't want to. Brittany's good people. You will love her. She bakes cookies like I do, but she's way more professional at it. She actually can like ship her boxes of cookies places. And they look fabulous. I looked at her menu. She's got like, I don't know, Brittany, how many cookies you have on your menu? 20, 30? I was like, I do macaroons. People are like, how many flavors? I'm like, I don't know. I guess I should write them down. Amazing stuff on her menu. But anyway, let's play this video. Heck yeah.
Heck yeah. Brace yourselves for the ultimate joke extravaganza. Dadder Jokes the sequel is here to rock your funny bone. Get ready for over 500 epic groans, chuckles, and side-splitting knee slappers, handpicked by the Grandmaster of Guffaws. Say goodbye to those cringeworthy, eyebrow-raising jokes. Dad Jokes keeps it squeaky clean, making it safe for school, work, and even your great aunt's tea party. From little rascals to hard hat heroes and the wisest of elders, this book is a universal laughter magnet. It's not just a book, it's a joyride. Brace yourself for a colorful explosion of giggles and guffaws on every single page. Your eyes won't believe the party your brain's about to crash. Get in on this belly-aching action. Join us on Kickstarter and let's catapult Dadder Jokes into the world with a wave of laughter. Unleash the chuckles. Back Dadder Jokes today. Laughter's the name of the game, folks.
Unleash the jokes.
Your,
Oh my goodness.
Your brain won't believe like what your eyes is about. The part of your eyes are about to crash.
And I didn't mute myself because I was laughing. I'm like, this is funny. I love your video. Where did you get all of that footage?
You like that? So I actually went and visited all those places. No, I'm kidding.
No, you did not.
No.
I also have a bridge to sell you.
Yeah, artlist.io. I use it's artlist.io. I had a subscription that's where I get like my my podcast music and stuff from there. And so yeah, I was able to get some of those from there, and they're really good, high quality stuff. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I wanted to do this one. Look, everybody, if you want to check out some cookies, Brittany not only has her menu there, but what I saw on her menu is that she does like boxes. You can pay for a reoccurring box of cookies to show up at your house at intervals of your choice. That's amazing. If you want a box of cookies to show up every month, you can do that.
Mabel
That's
Bakes.
Awesome. I don't know if my hips would appreciate that, but my taste buds would. So yeah, look, people, here's the beautiful pictures of the inside. Barney was kind of showing us, but you get like a nice up close view of what these pages look like. Did you know that fish is a great source of omega-3, which helps the brain function? Just some food for thought. Oh, that was another question of mine. I'm glad you put this here. So your first Dad Jokes book is available on Amazon.
Yes, it is. And here's the thing. You can buy it for a heck of a lot cheaper if you get it through the Kickstarter right now.
I was going to say, I'm sure you have a catch-up tier. Is it also available on your website?
It is. Yeah. You can. Okay. Here's the thing. Yeah. So support local bookstores. I mean, we're all talking about how, you know how important it is to support, you know, local comic book shops and local bookstores, but definitely support your local bookstores. You can, on my website, you can click on the link and it actually goes to independent bookstore link. You can order it through there as well. And so, yeah, so it is available on there. So, and Brittany, I'm looking at your website. I get distracted too.
I
don't have
know,
ADHD.
like shiny things.
I got tested. I don't have ADHD. But when somebody mentions cookies, I just have to like jump on it.
Oh, Barney, you and me both. I was like, how many things does she have on her menu? It's amazing. You'll have to go look. So 500 rib tickling jokes. And again, you meet that. What's the first stretch goal? What's the dollar amount?
1,000. So
1,000.
and so I did. Oh, go scroll down. If you reset, I just put it up there. So
all right.
Yeah.
Refresh.
Refresh.
This is what I like about Kickstarter is that you're like, I forgot to put the thing, and then you can add it, even though the campaign is live. You put it down at the bottom.
Cheers, add-ons, right there. Stretch goals, back up. I'll add a little thing about it right there.
Here we go. Yeah, 1,000. We can get 100 more jokes. That's great, people. Because I mean, like, I'm sure Barney has them. He probably has a plethora of jokes. But you know, we still have to pay for printing them. So that's what that money goes to, people. So deluxe better joke. What's a deluxe?
You just said plethora. Have you heard? There's a dad joke about the word plethora. You know, it was about the guy that went to a funeral and he said he stood up at the funeral and he said the word plethora, and the widow said, "Thank you. That means a lot."
Nice. That reminds me of what? That movie, Three Caballeros? The comedy where he's like, "Thank you, Pepe. It's a plethora." Something like that.
Oh, well, you're not thinking of the Three Amigos.
It is the Three Amigos. The Three Amigos.
Okay,
yes.
Yeah.
Cool. There's still lots of opportunity here, guys, to get more datter jokes. The deluxe datter. What's in the deluxe datter jokes?
This is what I would love to get that there. Because the deluxe datter jokes is that I really want to just kind of do a deep dive and tell people about the history of the dad joke. So here's the thing, Laurie. The term dad joke didn't start, it showed up in 1987. So, and also the history, and this is, I want us to get a little academic on folks here. It's just like dad jokes on the surface. It's fun. But you think about through pop culture, early 80s and then onward to the 70s and 60s, the role of the father was someone who was the stern and wise, the father figure. So it was always somebody who actually said so the role of the father was never somebody that actually kind of had a personality. They were the ones that actually gave the advice at the end, or was that anchor in all those sitcoms. And in the movies, there was always that anchor. Yeah. The stoic, think about the John Hughes movies of the early 80s. Like the father figure is always the father figure. They never had personality. What happened was there was a shift that happened in the late 80s, the mid to late 80s, where it started to have people like like the Cosby Show, where Bill Cosby was a comedian, but also he was able to be this character. Huxtable was able to be a little funny, but he was also the father figure. Yes. The dad. You had Danny Tanner in Full House, where he was never the comedian. He had quirks, but he was never. He might have been the brunt of some jokes, but he was never actually there to be funny and goofy. So it wasn't until you started seeing places like Family Matters. Family Matters is on that cusp as well, where you actually had the father started being the wise father figure, but near season 8, 9, he started to be goofy, because that was the same time Home Improvement came out. Was full on the dad's comedy. A goofy guy. Yep. So it was around that time where all of a sudden the role of the father could have a personality besides being the one that actually held that point of wisdom. And the term dad joke comes to the point where there is a sense of wisdom when it comes to dad jokes, because it's a play on words. There's a sense of understanding wordplay. There's a sense of understanding of having some level of observation. So it has that reminiscent feeling of puns and one-liners that are based off of an idea of the dad having a resource of wit about himself.
Yes.
And because of that, around the other thing that happened in the late 80s, early 90s, as well as that was when you started seeing the Gen X generation starting to be older. They're starting to get into their 20s, starting to have the late 20s where you're actually starting to be able to have children of their own. And you follow that thing generationally speaking, where you had the greatest generation gave birth to the baby boomers, and the baby boomers gave birth to the Gen Xers. Every single time that happened, there was a little bit of a release of pressure from the valve of societal expectations, where it's okay to still like childhood things. My father had a train set. He was embarrassed that he kept his train set for the longest time, until it was the point where he actually said, yeah, you know what? I got a train set. You see now people that are late baby boomers, the ones that are actually like, near the cusp of that old Gen X, so people that were born in the 60s and stuff.
Yes.
You see them more apt to be proud of the fact they have a Matchbox card collection, or they collect baseball cards. But when I was a kid, when I was in the 80s, when I saw men in their 40s going to the comic book shop, they came out with their comic books in a paper bag like it was pornography. Like they did not want, you did not want people to know in the 80s, if you're in your 40s, that if you went to a comic book shop. So it was this thing. Now there's this, there was this point where all of a sudden that the role of the dad joke in the late 80s and early 90s gave birth to the point of allowing a father figure to actually be okay to have a personality that was socially acceptable, to be able to do other things. And I really truly believe, this is the point I want to put this in, like the deluxe version of the book, is actually to actually also show that because of that, there became it made a crack in the hole of societal expectations. It made a crack in the hole to get rid of the nuclear family idea, that you need to have a specific role of what a father is and what a mother is. That crack that, being able to actually then be able to say, you know what, we're able to laugh at ourselves and laugh at each other. Because of that, it took away the role of what the generic father should be. And because of that, I really believe it opened up the idea of being, it's okay to be in your 40s and play Dungeons and Dragons. It's okay to be in your 40s and 50s and go to a comic book shop. It's okay to play board games. It's okay to play video games. And a lot of it, I truly believe, is you look at it based off of like a tree of where everything kind of started at.
Yes.
The stump of that was the idea of allowing society to be okay to make fun of to make sure that dad is goofy. It goes even far back to like laundry detergent commercials now. Like you can actually watch like the dad not knowing how to like clean it. Like there's this point, you never saw that back in the 50s. It was like, ask your husband and he'll tell you what kind of coffee he drinks because he knows the best kind of coffee. Like, like this whole role of the stoic, wise father really came. And like, that's the idea that I purely believe the point of it is that if you trace everything back about that of being able to create, fluid roles in the family and all these things and being able to do all that stuff truly comes down to the point of actually making the societal expectation where it's okay for dads to have a personality and be goofy starts really, I really believe it came down to like the cultural, the cultural idea of it okay for dads to be funny and being able to create the dad joke. So I really believe that's the heart of everything we are in today.
I gotta say that's really interesting because I know a lot of the other side, like how women's roles have changed in society over time. And I haven't really given much thought about how men's roles have changed, but they have. So that's pretty interesting that you bring that up because it's like, we could never do any of that stuff. And you know what I mean? Like you do what? You play D&D? Who are you? Or like, and especially with me where I'm like, I do martial arts and that's still few and far between, you know what I mean? To be a fighter and to be a female. So it's just interesting to see like us men and women, how we have progressed through society's expectations to the point where it's like you are allowed to have interests that are outside the norm now.
Right.
You know, and that's amazing.
Exactly.
Kids make fun of your Batman shirt when you were a kid, Charles. That's lame. It's Batman. How can anyone make fun of Batman? That's dumb. So where's yeah, exactly. Now they're all wearing them themselves and getting tattoos of them too. Criminals.
I love that. And that's the other thing too about being the dad. Like we took our kids to, they have these like, small amusement parks around, there's one called Storyland. And I love being a dad I'm putting on these like dad-ish joke shirts. Like I put on one that was just a picture of like an 8-bit Nintendo system and it said classically trained on it. Wearing that t-shirt is perfect to wear when you're going to an amusement park with your kids, because you make this silent connection to other folks. And I saw, and I passed by this guy that had a picture of a dinosaur wearing white socks and Crocs, and it said Datasaurus. And I looked at him, I kind of nodded because I was actually wearing, like Crocs and white socks. See? So, yeah. And so this is basically, my thing is just kind of like putting this together. And as I say, there's a few things. I mentioned 4 things that make this book itself extremely unique that you're not going to find in other places as well. So, yeah.
I love it. And I mean, like, people in the chat are right here with you. COVID lockdown was such an amazing time or amazing boom for acceptance of things like Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, D&D, and such for adults. We didn't have anything to do, right? You can only watch Tiger King so many times before it's like, can I do something else, please? And it's like with those, there's human interaction. When you're watching Netflix by yourself because you can't stand everybody that lives in your house because you've been with them for so long. It's like, it's great to play D&D over Roll20. You know what I mean? That's an escape for us. And even same thing. Even the idea of the norm isn't what it used to be. D&D is cool. Video games are cool. Anime is cool. These were things that would have gotten you made fun of 20 years ago. 100%. Yeah. So that part of, where we are going in society, I think is great, where it's like, it's okay to still have likes. The Bitcher. Wow. No, that's a typo. I'm Luz Butcher. In my D&D campaign, I am a pirate cleric. Yeah. Sure you did. Because Pops also plays. I don't usually bitch too much as my character. I usually just tell everybody else where they should be so I can not get killed myself. Because our dungeon master is always trying to kill the cleric. That's his job. Because then I can't bring everybody else back. So that's his number one. So I'm always running around trying not. Yeah, I do scream a lot because Max is always trying to kill me. I've been fireballed. I've been picked up by a King of Feathers, giant Tyrannosaurus Rex in his teeth. No, Johnny was in his teeth. I was getting thumped on the head a bunch of times by this Tyrannosaurus Rex by his tail. So we have fun. Yeah. Oh, hey. What's up? You want to play on Fridays? We got room. We need some more people because we're about to go into the Tomb of Annihilation and we're all going to die. We're all going to die. We need some help. So yeah. It was a good time. Right. Anywho, D&D is fun and I love it. And I just met someone amazing that lives in my neighborhood. Her name is Anna and she backed Path of the Pale Rider. And I'm shipping out stuff and I was like, wait a minute, this address is in my neighborhood. I was like, that's crazy. So I went and hand delivered it and I met her and she plays D&D. So I was like, we were talking about D&D. She also plays a cleric. A little different than mine, but still hilarious. So I feel like she's a kindred spirit and her and I need to go and have a drink and talk about D&D and nerd things. So peoples, here is this, guys. Let's go look at some of the rewards.
You know what? I just gotta say one thing about D&D. I remember I played this gnome. I played a gnome bard and I used the slingshot. And no, it was a gnome rogue.
Played a bard. Yes. This actually makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
it does.
And I remember that I had, and it was this. So someone that probably in the chat knows this as well. There's a book. It was a book of basically, it was just like, it was almost like a leather bound kind of looking books that they came out. I think it was in 2nd edition. It was just full of magical items. There's a bunch of magical items. And I remember this one that I broke the game because it was a bag that was called catapult seeds. It was a little sack of a little bag, like a bag of dice looking thing, but it was full of little seeds. And you could put a seed inside a slingshot, and it would do the same amount of damage as a catapult. The seed would destroy, and I would just and I said, "Are you sure I can do this?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, the math checks out, sure." So I would just, it's called catapult seeds. If anybody wants to try to talk your DM into letting you have a little bag of catapult seeds.
I might need that because, like I said, Max is gunning for me. Prim, we need you. Come join us. Absolutely, you're welcome. Last week when we played D&D, we got a new member who is a wizard, and he can do polymorph. So our heavy hitter, our whatchamacallit, he's a knight. What is he?
Right.
Paladin. He's a paladin.
Paladin.
He polymorphed into a Tyrannosaurus Rex at one point in this gigantic fight we were doing, and then he got polymorphed into a giant gorilla like King Kong. So that definitely helped our fight, because in the beginning I was like, we're all gonna die. But of course, I say that every time we get into a big fight. I'm like, we're all gonna die. They're like, shut up, Luz. We're not gonna die. What is? Yeah, we did. Pre-COVID, my shop was. Wait. That's not his name. We'll get to that. Pre-COVID, my shop was a field of stereotypes. Now the Chad bros and their Ariats and a gasp. The girls, yay, like me, are sitting next to what you would traditionally see. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. Dwarven Bard Philip Dragon Smasher. It's the name for the fact he seduced a dragon to save his party in the first campaign. I have so many questions. We're gonna have to talk about that, Charles. We killed a undead god. That's the gigantic fight we were in last week. His name was Rosny, and my character likes to butcher everybody's name. That's why her name is Luz Butcher. So she calls him Rodney. We killed a god named Rodney. It was a good time. Back to this. I'm sorry. Let us talk about the rewards. I want to talk about. I backed the PDF level. So we have dads and dadder jokes for $10. Is a steal, man. You receive a digital copy of dad jokes and dadder jokes. Over 260 pages of pure fun and laughter. Over 1,000 jokes, man. I'm excited for this because my kids can't steal it. My puppy can't eat it. And I can just have it in my phone and pull out jokes whenever it's appropriate, which is a lot of times. So we have PDF for just dadder jokes, which is $5. Yeah. Dadder jokes physical is $15. That's a great deal. 130 pages. These are perfect bound, the glue back ones.
Yep. Yeah, okay. Like these. Yeah. Like the glue back.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a big book.
It is. It's big. It's I mean, it's so big you can actually put the name on the side of it. See? So yeah.
I can't wait to get that far. To have a spine, that'll be amazing.
Right.
What's Breadwig?
So I had a few of my connections that I have, as you know, Laurie, being friend of the show on my podcast. Yes. I got some of the folks that I connect with is that Brian Ballinger, it's called Breadwig. He actually is he's a published children's book author that actually has he's a professor at a college, and he's also has like an agent. He has a literary agent to help him out. So I asked him if he could do a cover for me with his style. So he did that. I also have Mark Gagne, who also has a literary agent, and he's the second one down there. He's actually done covers for Marvel as well, and DC. He did one for the
Shut up.
For Clerks, the Clerks comic book as well.
Awesome.
So he's pretty awesome as well. And so I asked him. So his style, as you can see in that, is very much like graphic design. Like his cover looks like something you'd find at a bookstore. So I love his.
If he's a literary agent, it's because it has. His style is out there.
And Dirk Stanley, I can't even rave enough about this guy. So like I can rave about it. He actually is one of those, everybody has that one friend that maybe sleeps 3 hours a night, and you're like, dude, you need to get help. And then like he went and got sleep help and realized that like the doctor says, you know what, everybody has 90, our rhythm is 90-minute sleep cycles. We always have 90-minute sleep cycles. And so if you think about it, like you wake up every 90, you kind of go through those sleep cycles. So 3 hours or 4.5 hours, or then it's 6 hours or 7.5 hours. It's like, these are like the rhythms that we have. And the doctors, did checked his chemical balances, checked out his just put him on he's like, you're fine. Like some people are fine with 3 hours of sleep. He's like, really? He's like, yeah, you're just one of those rare people that are fine.
Wow.
Like, he's like, okay. So he actually, so let me send you this link. Like, this is something that, he actually created his own role-playing game, game. And
with the name of Dirk Stanley, the architect of epic adventures, I would assume.
Yeah. Right. So he actually created like a role-playing game called Faraway Land, and where is
While you're looking for that, I just have to pull this up here. Designed a losing battle with the blue dragon. No one could hit it. So instead of fighting, I just asked if the dragon was hungry, rolled a natural 20, and took her out to dinner. That's thinking outside the box. It was like, well, if we can't beat her, join her for dinner. She needed some steak, and now she's happy. That's all we want. We want a steak dinner. Make us happy. That's all.
Right. So he makes I just sent you the link. Yeah. He all these tomes that are fully colored, and he created his own role-playing game, and it's reminiscent, and it's reminiscent of like Adventure Time, because his artwork kind of looks like that, but he made it before Adventure Time came out. But it's a gorge. So anybody that's a role-playing, like likes role-playing games, this is an amazing system, and that he created. Yeah.
Faraway Land. Look at it. Wow. Look at all the stuff he's got, man.
Yeah. Yeah. He's made a ton of things. And
Dungeon, awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good reviews there. Check it out.
Yeah. So yeah, all of this is him. He designed it, and he actually did the art for it.
Still going.
Yeah, it's a lot like he made. So definitely check it. If you look at that price, so you can get like the physical copy right there for $10. I think it's on sale, like the Faraway Land.
Dude, yeah, it's on sale for $9.99 right now. Faraway Land, the Tome of Awesomeness.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it looks like he has other add-ons and stuff for like $5. Wow.
Yeah. 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 And so, like I say, it's a fully colored book. He did all the artwork in it.
I click too many things.
Yeah.
I push the button.
Yeah. It's gorgeous. We had, and so he actually did the cover for the original Dad Joke. It's on the add-on section.
Yeah.
To check that out. So he did that for me. And yeah, he's just like, and you know this too, Laurie, when the work we do is that, the people we connect with is a reflection of, the values of we possess. Being able to be connected to such great people makes me feel, and makes me want to do better as well. So I'm really fortunate to be with to have these three guys agree to do some covers for me, because you always gotta have variant covers. You gotta have variant covers if you're doing
some of us get a little silly with variant covers.
Some people, yeah.
By the way, Carissa is still campaigning for Worthy Chaos Redemption. Her campaign is live. If you have not picked up a copy of her latest issue, she's there. She's doing 705 maybe interviews this time. Just kidding. She does more interviews than anybody I've ever met. It's insane. Oh, these are gone. Early bird and physical copy. These are your early bird ones. Yeah, are gone. But there's still plenty of here. Dadder and Dadder Jokes, physical and digital, still available.
Yeah, exactly. And then the add-on.
It's very simple too. I feel like mine can sometimes get out of control because of all the crazy merch I throw in there. But this is just very, it's books. It's books, people. That's what we're here for. And I love that. And I was like, I really wish I could.
Then there's the add-on section.
Oh, of course. Let's go there. The tiers.
Those are the tiers.
And I love how you did this too. It's very concise. Like, here it is. You can see it all on one thing. Because that again is another challenge of building a Kickstarter page, is not have like 12 miles of scrolling to get everything in. Yeah.
And then in my other books, I was able to put in there as an add-on is the
Here
other
we go.
books.
Lion and Dove, Relief, and 2 years. Interesting.
Yeah. That 2 years is based off of my time in the Peace Corps, and then Relief was my time in the Doctors Without Borders. But I had them take place on Mars instead of being placed in like.
It's probably pretty accurate. Feeling like you're on a different planet.
Exactly.
Is what I would think. Right?
Yeah. Because somebody asked me, like, what about your other books? So I decided to put those on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You have to have them there because here we are talking about all your life experiences, which are amazing. And you have books about that. Where can they find them? Of course. Right. And again, like you said, they're probably way cheaper to get them here than it is for them to go on Amazon. And it's like, just back them here.
Oh, yeah.
They're already done.
And there's for the physical copies of my previous titles, I only have 10 of each of those. And if you scroll up and you see the price on it, it's $680. So it's $15 for all three. And if you scroll down a little bit, I think I said how much. No, maybe it's not on there. That's like over 600 pages for $15. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but look, add-ons. You can add on dad jokes from the other variants, which is cool. So if you want dad jokes and dadder jokes, you can always add on the variants, which is great. That's not always the case. Usually variants are not available on a new one. Usually it's like a copy only.
Right. See,
that's how I roll. I'm like, you want last issue? Great, Marco's cover. Like all the rest are gone anyway.
Right.
You had bookmarks.
And then those bookmarks, those are fun. So you can get the PDFs of all like 16 of them.
Oh, print them yourself. That's cool.
Yeah. See. Yeah.
What do you call the pile of cats? What's the answer?
A meowton.
These are fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're right. It's like Bible quotes, but then you look at it and you're like, that's not what? What did it say?
What is that? See?
That's so funny. And then of course, here are the new updated stretch goals. They're only new to us because they weren't on the page, but they were always there. They're the stretch goals. So 100 more jokes, the deluxe dadder jokes.
Yeah, we put in
dad
the history.
Joke of the day daily calendar.
Yeah. See, you got to do that. See, that's what. Yeah, and of course,
I love
if
that
you get the
hardcover. Ooh.
Yeah. See, get that far, but that'd be fun. But I'm just really put for that deluxe dadder jokes. I'd love to see if that get to that point. That would be really fun.
You didn't tell us what it is.
I just told you it was about put in the history. Basically, what tells about.
Okay. I was like, you told us the history. We talked about the history. You're gonna put the history in the book.
Yeah. See about the origin, origin story.
I got lost somewhere along the way.
Yeah. See. Yeah.
Yeah. Bookmarks are a fabulous idea in that because it's like you always want to be like, you probably need a couple of the bookmarks so you can mark your favorite jokes.
Right. And here's the thing: you will win. And to be very clear, if you buy these dad joke books and you get them, you're going to win the gift giving season because nobody is going to top that to get these books. Nobody's nobody. Yes, nobody's going to, especially if you get those like bookmarks with it as the add-on, because people think they look like Bible quotes or something or some source of inspiration, like hang in there, kitty kind of deal. But they're actually like dad jokes. So you will absolutely, the one guarantee I can give you is that whoever you get these books for, if you get them as a gift, you will win. You will win the gift giving season. Absolutely. Yeah.
That's the best. And I love that you put these here. I need to do this too. Where your interviews are here. So people have, again, it's like a lot of times we're like, I don't know if I'm on the fence, especially with mine, where it's like, what is she talking about? Or like, this doesn't give me an idea. But if you can throw up an interview where it's like, you can see Barney talk about this, and they ask questions that are pertinent and you can hear him talk about it. That might help. And it's great to hear what other people think about it too. It's like, I love putting up interviews where people are grossed out by my book. I love that. That makes me happy. So, but I love this. Look, there's so many good things that you can watch. I think I've been on all of these.
I think so.
I don't think I've been on Ryan's.
He's new. I think he's been around. That is the nerd culture.
Oh.
Yeah.
But Wednesday night reviews are great. Comics Crusaders, man. They have a lot of good shows. Yeah. Nerds Random Chatter. I've been on that one either.
Yeah.
When dead. And of course, Jason Craig. He was my first interview that I went on ever. I think he was first. Right. And that was a lot of fun. He made me play like name that tune for Saturday morning cartoons. Oh my gosh. That was a lot of fun. So yeah,
I thought I was your first one. I was your first one.
No, you were my first one because then you gave me the information for Jeff, and then Jeff hooked me up with. Jeff got me addicted, shall we say, to doing podcasts. That's what happened. So you actually were my very first podcast. Yes, you are correct.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yes, please let me give me a second here. I need to do the thing. Where is it?
I need to. What was it?
Oh, it's not there. Pops, you took out the back this. Nope, I found it. Hold on. Yes, it is time for a call to action. Today, you peoples in the chat, I love you. Go pick out a level. Find which one works for you and support Barney Smith and Dadder Jokes. And you're going to wish you had done this already. I'm sorry, I had to refresh the page.
Well, and obviously, I mean, if it's not pretty apparent, like you got dad jokes and you got dadder jokes, obviously there's going to be a third one called Daddiest Jokes.
You got to. I mean, obviously there's plans for that. That was my next question is what comes next? What comes next, sir?
Right. Well, because you look at it. So then you have, if you look at the cover, that's the other thing too, is like the cover, actually the dad on the dad joke book is actually ages as I age too. So the first one, he just has 2 kids. And then the third one, I got a third kid now. And I got glasses on in that one. So, yeah.
So it just keeps growing. That's awesome.
It just keeps growing. See?
What is this? Not to be confused with the purple theropod. Oh, the dinosaur. Barney. Yeah. So he's the least.
Barney is in Barney Rubble, not Barney the Purple Dinosaur.
Right. I was going to say Barney the Purple Dinosaur is probably the least popular Barney. Right. Just saying.
Yeah. Not that well now, but yeah.
Charles. Ridiculous. We're back to the Dwarven Bard taking the dragon out to dinner. Ridiculous just snowballed from there, and the DM had to rewrite his responses on the fly. So I just call my girlfriend if I can't win. That's awesome. That would be great to have a dinosaur on call. Dinosaur dragon, just to be like, well, we can't beat this revenant. Call up the blue dragon, show up and kick his ass. Kick his ass, D-Bass. That would be great. Can do that.
Yeah.
So are we at the point where I can ask you about Bluey? I would love to hear.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Somebody has asked me like it was like, what's your favorite show or something? I forget what the question was. And then I went on its diatribe about Bluey, that and I asked her, "Have you seen Bluey?" And they're like, "Well," so what I did is like I sent a link like top 10 best episodes of Bluey for adults. Like Bluey
Grandmas.
is yes, like if I'm by myself and I'm watching some episodes of Bluey, I'll just blubbery cry at it. Like it's basically I tell people it's like it is the first 5. It's like it's the last 5 minutes. It's the last 10 minutes of Iron Giant plus the first 5 minutes of Up put together.
Oh God!
Like you watch that thing and it's like it like tears at you. You're like you just look at like
damage.
Emotionally. You just like, and it's some of those things on there. It's like talking about like those messages in there. And then I think also too, it's like my one of my favorite ones. Yes. Like the one, did you see the one
cardboard outside, the cardboard box?
Oh, I haven't seen that one. I saw the one about the grandma that wants to help at the barbecue. Did you see that one?
Yes.
That one. Oh man.
Where like no, mom, just have a seat. But then there was the little kid who was what was she doing? Trying to do a handstand?
Trying to do a somersault or something
Yeah. And so the two of them, it was like, sorry, we can't be bothered with you. You're too young, or sorry, we can't be bothered with you. You're too old, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's just like
oh man, that one. And geez, and the one without her trying to learn how to ride a bike, that one too.
Yes.
Man, I gotta say that is some fantastic levels of
and the kids have no idea the meaning behind it. They're like, why are you crying right now? And you're like, I can't explain why. But super funny stuff too, like the grandmas when they're on the bus.
Yeah.
Remember? Yeah. And they were like going to Mahjong or something, and the two of them are dressed up as grannies, and just the chaos that ensues. Like one of them had a pet snake. Where's your snake? I don't know. Oh, she's like around the bus driver, and then the thing comes off, and the Rita, one of them's farting on the bus. Like it's just so funny. Unicorns where they're like what do you what did you say?
Meeting. Daddy's in the meeting. Do you want to say hi to Daddy's friend Lori?
Hi. There's a munchkin.
You want to say hi?
Hi, munchkin. Oh. Hi. What's your name?
Hi.
Hi. What's your name?
What's your name?
I'm Iggy.
He says, I'm Iggy.
Hi, Iggy. I'm Lori. Nice to meet you. How old are you?
How old are you?
3.
2? 2?
You're
2
years old?
2.
I was going to say you were 4. You're so big.
Huh?
You're 2.
You're 2?
You're the cutest.
You go say hi to mommy? You can go see mommy, okay?
Tell mommy we say hi.
Yeah, and that's Daddy's transformer. Let's see.
He's like, I touch it. No.
So obviously, I got my, I got all kinds of Gen X-y things in here.
Yes. Hi, Iggy.
I get my transformer toys.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, my stuff up here. Wait, I'll show you.
Oh, what are you doing, buddy?
I got this for Christmas last year.
Nice.
The Baroness. I'm working on a cosplay.
Yeah, that's a good cosplay. That fits.
I got glasses. I got the long dark hair. Yeah.
Right. See? Yeah.
My husband's like, well, I don't know if I'm gonna let you out of the house wearing that. I'm like, come on. I need to wear it. I need to have that. Feel better about myself. No. Oh, Iggy's so cute.
Yeah, he is. Hey, all right, you're all set, buddy? Yeah. All right.
Brittany, someday. I'm working on it. I don't know. I've been so busy lately with everything. I don't know if I'll get it done before I go to Cowtown. I was threatened by not in a mean way, in like a nice way. Like, Laura, you better do this next con. I want to see you wear the Baroness cosplay. And I was like, it's not done yet. You don't want to reveal it until it's done.
Exactly. You got to make it. You got to surprise people. Yeah. See. Yeah.
Working on.
And you got to do TikTok videos and all that kind of stuff with it as well.
Well, Charles, I am married. There has to be some give and take here. If I was just a wild woman, it would be bad. It would be out of control. So the husband kind of reels me in. It's like you get the people that are opposite a little bit and they kind of even each other out. Yeah. Yeah. He stops me from making a fool of myself at times. He's really good at that. At Charles for show. I put on a mean mug, but my husband wears the pants. He does. This is the truth. Uh-oh. Now the chat's engaged. Here's an idea. Wait for it. I'm waiting.
Uh-oh.
I know. It's Quentin too, so I'm afraid. Yes, Quentin. You can't just leave us hanging, man. Type faster. All right, moving on.
Moving on to checking the private chat.
Oh, what's in there? Let's see. Oh no, Barney. You gotta run.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention.
That's why we have a producer. You see what I'm saying?
I know. Pops reels me in. Sometimes he's like, do this, Laurie. And I'm like, I don't see it. And so he sends me a message on Facebook Messenger. And sometimes I get it there. And other times I'm so involved in what I'm doing. I'm just like oblivious to what Pop is just like, I need to come in there and tell you what to do. Fine, I'll do it.
Yeah, there you go. See, he's keeping track. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Well, everybody say thank you to Barney for coming on the show. I would love for you to be a friend on my show. Come on. I have so many more questions about your adventures through your life. But I really
I haven't even told you about I didn't even do my diatribe on Reed Richards. So that's another thing that I can talk about. So
we got lots of stuff to talk about. And then I plan on being on your show a fourth time. Coming up in September or sometime or October. I forget off the top of my head, but we talked about it. Because again, Path of the Pale Rider will be riding into another Kickstarter. So we'll hang out again and we can chat.
Right. So and you did your recordings for me too for those dad jokes, right? You sent those.
Yeah, I did. Yes, I read those. I was excited for those
this week.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah. Let me know because I'll post them too because that was a lot of fun. I had fun doing those. I was being silly and I think I put like sound effects in some of them.
Right. September 28th.
See, September 28th, I will be on Story Comic. And then you can all see us, the two of us, again.
Right.
Reed Richards is the devil. Ooh. Is that fighting words?
No, I have a really good Reed Richards. I have a really good Reed Richards observation, but I got to save that for next time. So,
I was going to say, we will save that for next time because if you got to run, you got to run. But have a wonderful day, everybody. Say thank you to Barney. Go back, dad jokes and dad jokes. And we'll see you again soon.
Thank you.
All right. See you later. And now it is just I. Pops, you need to come on here. Pops.
Okay.
Pops.
I can do that.
Thank you to Barney. Yes, good. Everybody says, oh, Keith, you just showed up. It just makes me laugh. I'm like, say goodbye. Preem's like, I just did it. God, you got to ask me again. And of course, now Keith, you showed up right as our guest left. So,
I was just sitting here in the dark, so I had to go turn on
dark
kind of lights.
Can I show off my comics again? I don't think everybody was here
sure you can.
When I was showing them off. If you guys didn't see,
I get like light headaches.
Oh, I hate
that's why you always see it dark in here. Okay, because
I just thought it was because you were a vampire.
No, I go out in the sun and I get I mean, that's like the only thing I will do outside is I will go play golf because I love golf enough to take the headache. But I get the headache every time. You know, I come home after golf and I lay down in the dark until it goes away. You know.
Yeah.
Thanks, Barney. That was great, man.
That was great. I love Barney.
Definitely want to see more of that. I did notice that he was dropping his link in the madness, so
yes,
gets it. You know, I've been sitting here talking to Charles and backstage, and on the messenger during the show about different things. But let's take a look
Charles
at those
is good people, man.
I got
what?
something to show you too, but let's take a
Oh
look.
yeah. Look at this, by the way. I know you guys, if you saw the last campaign, this is a David Sanchez cover. He did this in pencil, like colored pencil, black colored. Ugh, I don't understand how we can do stuff like this. I've seen the original digitally. Like he showed me a picture of it before we turned it, into this, and amazing. Someone already bought the original. I wish it could have been me, but I couldn't afford it. It's just so beautiful. This is a main character who we have not met yet. And I am so glad I let him tackle this person. You will meet her eventually. You're going to think you're going to see someone and it's going to resemble this, but it's not this person. And I'm not going to tell you. When we get there, it's going to be such a big reveal. It's just amazing. And of course, like, just amazing covers on issue number 3. Just so amazing. William Russell's Naughty Bits cover, we call this Death by Snoo Snoo. Amazing cover. I needed to order some more. I immediately ordered some more because I ran out already after I fulfilled. I didn't order enough. I needed to order more. And William Russell is actually working on the cover for number 4 right now. So it's going to be different. There's not going to be bits he's tackling. It's something else, but there's going to be another William Russell. If you didn't see this one, this is the Angelo Aquino cover. This is such a cool cover that goes kind of over the riots and stuff that we see. There's going to be a lot of unrest between 3 and 4 while we cover like the fall of society and like what actually started everything and how it fell apart, right? There's so much information in 3, and this just kind of wraps it up. Plus, I love this one because it reminds me of the movie It with the yellow slicker. It just, it's Georgie, right? With the red balloon. It's that iconic. I just love this one. And then, of course, Marco's cover, which is just amazing. Always amazing. It's like when we looked at his progress from like issue 1 to issue 2 to issue 3 covers, he's just levels up every time. It's amazing. I just can't wait to see. He's working on 4 right now. Like that's his next thing. You guys saw the image of let me get rid of this. The banner that he did. This is the first time we've done a banner per se. We've done like I've pulled images from like covers, but this is just that's all it is. Rorschach, yeah. But this, oh my Lord, when he turned this in, I was like, okay. So the skull's flying around. It's like Jude is fighting his way through death, just surrounded. And then, of course, Big James in the background bellowing with his exposed throat. I wonder what that would actually sound like. A bear roaring with his like just flapping throat. That would be terrifying to me. Yeah, on top of a bear roar with the extra like nastiness
what
to it.
What you'd have to do is you'd have to 2-track it. You'd have to put the on one and then the roar on the other and then overlap the two. Oh, so you hear the flapping and the roar,
Yes. Thoughts. We'll see if we can do that. But yeah, there's currently 48 followers. If you haven't signed up, remember that you can sign up to be notified upon launch. All the way somewhere up here at the top. Here it is. Here's the link. You can just go to Kickstarter and type in Path of the Pale Rider and all my campaigns pop up. But this one with the Jude in front of death is the one we're working on now. You can be notified upon launch and get in some of those exclusives. I have some really cool things planned. I always do. I always get super excited about the new stuff. I got to say the new secret reward is really cool. And it's a lot less expensive than the ones that I normally do. They're usually like over $100. Like a howler monkey.
Picture of me? Did you need a picture of me to zombify or something?
Yes, I do. The short film, I'm working on it right now. I have to, I want to finish fulfilling campaign number 3. And then I'm going to focus all my effort on 4. I need to make new commercials. I need to make a Kickstarter video. And we're going to be jumping on the short film.
I was going to say, if there's a setting you want or whatever that I can take a certain picture for you, I can do that. Or if, No,
actually, I would like a blank wall because I'm using a lot of different. I use photo filters on these, and I'm creating the background myself.
I
If
I
you
know
can't find a blank wall, don't worry about it, because I can edit out the back, but I'm trying not to have a background. I really needs to focus on the person, because I have a plan for what all of these are going to do.
All my walls are blank now. All my arts and boxes. All my walls are blank. Yeah, I can find you a blank wall.
That's depressing.
That's horrible. Oh, that's horrible. Yeah,
but if people are watching and they want to be zombified, you will be in the short film. It's a great way to participate because you don't have to do much. You just got to take a selfie. And now for the zombie ones, I want people to make a face. Don't smile at the camera unless it's a creepy smile. You want to be like,
well, yeah,
something like that. You know what I mean?
It's gonna be
right. Either, but again, it's like in my world, the zombies are not man-eating, brain craving. They're just confused. Some of them are violent. So I have some people that look violent, but I have like a lot of confused ones, which are
what be like, I am
I already got Keith.
A zombie.
I got yours. Brittany, yes, send me yours. And the fun thing is that I will send you back what it looks like. Yeah, yours is so funny.
But my hair still look good.
It's funny. I will send you back what your picture is so you have a copy. And I would love it if we could do a digital flash mob. So if you have a zombified picture on September 18th when we launch, if you could change your profile picture to the zombie, it will help bring awareness to Path of the Pale Rider launching. And it doesn't cost you anything, and it doesn't, you can just copy and paste the link into underneath your picture, and then it'll do the rest, right? Digital flash mob. I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
It's a great idea.
So,
and I was just talking to Charles about another great idea. I know a lot of people that don't do floppies, right?
Yeah.
They do that thicker book, that 120 page plus book, and they want to get it in a retail store. Look, guys, print up some ash cans of the first 10 pages.
Oh, that's smart.
Send them out.
Charles is full of good ideas. I don't know if he's around, if he's listening anymore, but
I was telling him that. I was telling him that. I was like, we were talking about retail tiers and how the pricing, it's hard for you guys to get into pricing that the stores can work with, right? And he says, yeah, I know it's an expensive thing. He said, but there has to be the profit margin. And I said, yeah, they got to keep,
otherwise they can't sell it.
Got to keep the floppies affordable, right? And then, but if you're selling that big book, look, dude's not going to buy 10 of your books sight unseen.
I'm glad you're here.
You know what I mean? He's not going to buy 10 books of yours sight unseen.
No.
To put on his shelves. Send him an ash can. Send him PDFs. Send him something he can look at. And,
Charles and I were talking about this because I was like, what? Because again, he wants a retail tier, and I'm building my Kickstarter. What are you looking for? What do you want? What would you expect to see? Right. So we went over some of the things, and one of the things he suggested, which is genius, is a pitch postcard. So art on one side of a postcard, and on the back, you put your pitch, your elevator pitch. So not a book, just an elevator pitch, and a QR code to a preview. So if it's all of PDF number 1, or if, like you said, first 4 pages is something, that's awesome. I could even put together a preview where it's like first 4 pages of every single issue I have out. So first 4 pages of 1, first 4 pages of 2, first 4 pages of 3.
I'm looking at the ash can. The ash can was like the disposable part of collectible comics.
Disposable, ouch.
Because comics in the beginning were disposable media.
Yeah.
The only reason you see super expensive old school comics is because somebody kept one of them in crazy condition, and there aren't very many of those. Because we used to fold them up, stick them in our pocket, give them to our friends. They got read.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, there was no collectors except for like really eccentric people, right?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It became something as I was growing older. I watched grading come into cards, grading came into comics. But in the day, it was a disposable medium. 12 cents, 15 cents, 25 cents. It didn't matter to us, right? Now, you actually put some money into buying a book.
Yes.
Okay. You're actually spending some money, so you kind of want to know what you're getting. Back in the day, those ash cans, those were the disposable thing when collecting really started taking off. They'd send out that disposable little book to get your attention about the big book coming out. Okay. And same thing now, guys. If you really want to get a store owner's attention, send them a half a dozen, 10, whatever ash cans to put on the counter. You know?
Yeah.
It was disposable media.
Quentin.
You know, but serious business, man. You not only that, you're going to get the store owner's attention. He's going to look at it. He's going to say, okay, I know whether or not my customer is going to buy this. He's going to get back in touch with you and work a price that works for both of you. You still make something and he can make something.
Right.
He's got to be able to make something or he's not going to take up that.
Why? Yeah. It's just business people. And Charles, I love the fact that you were just so willing to share that information. I mean, like, I want my books to sell. You want my books to sell. So, you know, I think those pitch postcards are a great idea. Because that way you don't have to memorize my pitch. I know my pitch like the back of my hand. So it's real easy for me to put it on a postcard. You can just be like, here you go. This is Path of the Pale Rider. And then I can technically pitch to your customer when I'm not there. So that's a great idea. What? If I had a time machine, I'd wipe out a comic book store from the net. You mean go and buy a bunch of the books?
I think he means clear out.
Yeah, clear. Like buy all the things. Why would you wipe them out?
Let me tell you what, though. When I was a kid, they didn't have comic book stores.
No.
We had spinner racks and newsstands. We did not have comic book stores. You know what I mean? It's like we would go to the drugstore, we'd go to the supermarket, the end caps, and all the supermarkets had the spinner racks with the comics. And that's where you'd go. That's where you got comics. There was no dollar bins. None of that. None of that when I was a kid. Okay. Yeah, I'm old, damn it. But there was none of that. Okay.
I said nothing. I was just like, should I say it? No, I'm going to keep that to myself.
But you know what I mean? It's like we didn't have a place to just go get the back issues we wanted. If you were trying to get a storyline, you were going from supermarket to drugstore to spinner rack to spinner rack to spinner rack, trying to find that back issue from 3 months ago that's actually buried in the back with other comics crushed in on top of it. But you want the story. You bought that crappy beat up one that was smashed in the back of the spinner rack.
Yep.
You know, if you wanted the story, that's what you did. And back then it was all about the stories. It wasn't about collecting. That's what I'm saying. Ash cans from back then are super, super cool collectibles now. You know.
Speaking of collectibles, I'm going to tease you guys with these because you can't order them anymore. I was so mean. But I'm gonna do another one for the fourth book. So hopefully people will get that one. But this is the set. So this is I did some super exclusive foil covers. They're rainbow foil.
Those are badass.
Aren't those awesome? These are from the Second Chance campaign from the Indiegogo that I didn't really promote it too much. So some people found it, but
you just wanted to keep those to yourself. I know.
I wanted. It was an experiment with Indiegogo, and it was an experiment with some advertising outlets. It was just a big experiment. I wanted to see what would work, and because of course Indiegogo does, where you don't have to, you can do a flexible, right? So if you don't hit your target, you're not losing anything. You still get to make your books, and you just collect whatever was collected, right? So it was basically a chance to see how Indiegogo worked, for me to run a small campaign and see how people could find it organically and if it worked that way. Surprise, it doesn't. There is no organic finding you on Indiegogo. It's basically like, if you don't promote this, no one's going to see you.
There's no organic finding you on Fund My Comic either, but we will do our best to help you find them.
Right. There's organic finding on Kickstarter.
Made us a little Fund My Comic logo in the middle of the Madness Roku logo.
I like it.
Isn't that cool? I was like, Luke, you want to do this? I mean, the book is their logo, right? Mm-hmm. And Crom's holding the comic book. That's always been our logo. It's like, man, just put your logo right there.
Together. Makes sense. Preem, I love that you came out. When I was in Michigan, I got to see Preem.
He's in Michigan?
I got to hang out with the culture junkies.
I'm in Michigan, bro. I'm in Michigan.
And I got to sign his books in person. So that was awesome. And we had a great time. Preem's good people.
Now, why don't you introduce me to Big Preem? Because this is the first time I've seen him. Who is this?
No, you've talked to him. He's been in the chat before. but he's one of the culture junkies. You know, there's another show that I go on Wednesday nights where I'm a returning guest.
Right.
And they talk about all sorts of good stuff, and they know their stuff. Like I went and played trivia on I think it was the what was the show? What do they call it? The Peep Show, where all it is the chat runs the show. Whatever the chat talks about, they talk about. And then we also did like a trivia game. And GQ, it's Chris is his name. Killed me. It was one of those things where it's you play what's that game where it's like you play the head honcho, it's like everybody plays the big guy at the top and he just knows everything. That was Chris. Like his answers were like, well, this is the question, this is the answer. Question, answer, question, answer, question, answer. He answered like, I don't know, 10 questions in 30 seconds. And I was like, I'm just not even gonna bother. There's no way I can beat that. It's like it takes me time to even just think about what I'm gonna say. There was nothing. So it's like I think GQ needs to be like the reigning champion, and then people play to beat him, and if they can even get close, they can win something. But they gave away like prizes, and it was a lot of fun. I always have fun on there. We talk about movies and nerd stuff, and they do anime and video games, and it's a lot of good stuff. And they're on Twitch.
Sounds like the kind of stuff we want to bring to the network.
I have already talked to Prima about that, so don't you worry. The Indiegogo went okay. Again, I didn't have a ton of backers, but it was just a big experiment. But the book was already funded, so I wasn't really pushing very hard. I wasn't trying to make like, you know, what I do on Kickstarter. Kickstarter is what funds our project to make sure that it can happen. It's the print job, it's the artist fees, it's the colorist, it's all the merch. The Indiegogo was like, hey, if you're not a part of Path of the Pale Rider because you don't like Kickstarter, here's a chance for you to come be a part of this. And I made some exclusive covers for them to kind of entice. But Indiegogo, like if you don't type the name Path of the Pale Rider into the search, it's not going to just scroll across your screen. It's not something where you can just go shop at Indiegogo and, oh, look, Path of the Pale Rider is trending. Not like on Kickstarter. Kickstarter has like 6 different categories that their algorithm will push you into depending on where you are. Did you just launch? It's in that category. Is it magic? It's in that category. Project we love, you could show up there. Closing out, you could show up there. You know what I mean? Oh, you backed another Western? Look, you might like Path of the Pale Rider. You like horror? You might like Path of the Pale Rider. So the Kickstarter, to me, it's easier for outside people to find me on that platform without me having to do a ton of work. Again, it's more like the better I do, the more the algorithm pushes me. So I push hard there. But Indiegogo, I felt like there wasn't much going on. And I tried some other like email lists that didn't work. And I think I got scammed out of some money.
Indiegogo is a Twitter.
It's just Twitter.
And that's where everybody who uses it is, you know, that's where you see all the ads. That's where people work. That's where people work their Indiegogos is on Twitter. Fund My Comic, I don't know if you noticed, but I see tons of Fund My Comic stuff on Twitter because Luke and the team are out there promoting everybody all the time. They're trying to get eyes on what they're doing. So, you know, it's like it's constantly them actually pushing your stuff out, which is different than any of the other ones, you know. I mean, but it's still small. It's got to grow, you know, it's got to grow. But the
Kickstarter's not having like, here's what's new on Kickstarter, or here's what's hopping, or here's what needs help. They don't have a show. They're not promoting anything. Nope. They just want your monies. But it's a great platform. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not knocking them. If without Kickstarter, I wouldn't be producing comics.
Indiegogo, so. I am kind of knocking them because they do.
Indiegogo, no, I was talking about Kickstarter. I mean, Kickstarter won't. They promote you on the page, but again, like Luke's going above. Like you can find him on the page, but he has a show, he has a podcast. You can go on his podcast and promote. And if you're not on his podcast, he'll still promote your stuff on his podcast. So you can't get that on any other platform.
Big Preem, I'm down here west of 3 Rivers by Corey Lake in Michigan.
Yeah, Pops is in Michigan.
Down here in Michigan, and I would love to collab with other people up here local because, dude, I don't have a whole lot of people around here. There's a few, and I go to the local. I go to Grand Rapids, and I go to the Hall of Heroes con in South Bend, but I don't know a whole lot of people around here to actually network with. So
I think they're towards Southfield, Pops.
I don't know where that is.
Southfield, Novi, like out that way.
I don't know.
Novi. You know where Novi is? Farmington.
I don't go anywhere. Look, I know where some golf courses are. That's about it. Look, I don't have a party life anymore. I play golf and I do comics. That's it. You know.
They're Metro Detroit based. We went up as far as Flint, but
so they're up there like where Randy is. Those guys. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what we got for the show today. Join us next week, and then don't forget to go sign up for the Roku because that's popping off this weekend.
Saturday.
And then in a couple of weeks, Path of the Pale Rider. If you have not booked Carissa Grant's book, go check out her Kickstarter, which is running right now. There's so many things coming. Ray's Comics is finally launching their next. I haven't booked a Ray's book since their first campaign that Sam and I were running at the same time. I was like, when are you running your next Kickstarter, please?
Oh yeah,
I got digital last time. I would like some physical copies. So they're going to be popping off in September too.
I'm going to be on Sam's show on the 5th.
Sam Vera? Yeah. I'm talking about Sam Willis, Sam and Trey from Ray's.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to be on Catch the Craze as well. I'm going to be doing the whole circuit. So you'll be seeing a lot of me. You know how I roll. When we're campaigning, I'm out and about. I'm going to be at Comic-Cons.
I had a couple of people invite me to come on their shows that kind of blew me away a little bit. Billy Tucci and Niall invited me to come out on their show after the campaign launches. And Pete Cimetti hit me up yesterday or day before yesterday and gave me a date, October 18th. I'll be on his show. So toward the end of the campaign, we'll be on Cimetti's show. You know,
the 18th is when I end. So I'm only doing 28 days this time.
Hey, I figure 60 days. Because I want to make sure this happens, and I want to give a lot of people a chance. You know, everybody's not going to see this in the beginning, and I want to give it a chance to get seen by as many people as possible. The more content we have when we start this thing, the better chance people going to get stuck there. That's what we want.
You just roll around and then can watch me dress up as a Pikachu and smash watermelons with someone's name on it.
All that stuff. Yeah.
I love it. I can't wait.
I also just found a 2-year-old Monday Madness featuring Brian Polito. I'm going to replay that sometime here in the very near future. I found some old episodes of some of the really old stuff, like 2 and 3 years old. Okay. So you're going to probably see some cool stuff popping up on the YouTube here in the next couple of days. Cause it's
very cool.
It's old, but it's cool. Having fun, man.
Yeah, that's what it's about. It's like we have to have fun while we're doing this. Yeah, we're killing ourselves, but we still want to have fun.
I lost the first 5 CromCons. They weren't done on my YouTube. We were on different platforms, and we were on, I was on Facebook at the beginning strictly, right? So some of it's just gone because that was my old account that Facebook struck down, and I lost, the first couple CromCons and content and some of the early stuff. But I found Monday Madness number 3 because it popped up on my Facebook memories, and I was like, boom, hit the button, went straight over there and downloaded it. I was like,
that's awesome. I was like, ooh, history.
Led me to another one, and I found a couple other ones. I was like, cool.
I need to show the people who are still here the short that I made for the Roku ad, but for the brew. I just want to show one. I know it's the end of the show and we're past time, but I just want to show people real quick.
Okay, who's this other guy? You got to introduce this other guy now.
Who?
Rick. Oh.
Rick? You know what's funny about Rick? Rick is almost as much as Carissa, but he only Carissa's launch party. You got to get to actually
we make these ads with you in mind, Facebook.
Oh, they're so much fun. Preem, we need to have a Path of the Pale Rider logo gym sock to put soup cans in and smash pumpkins with. I'm there for that.
Bam.
Preem, I'm already like, I'm ready to just send you a random package with the gym sock that I smashed the first watermelon with. The Joffrey Baratheon pumpkin. I think I'm just going to send it to Preem because that would be so much fun. So
there's also one stretch goal we're going to lock in right now, Laurie.
Oh.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
If we get to 10,000,
you're going to cut your hair
and donating it to a cancer center that makes witch.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
But yeah, all that.
I don't think I could do it. No, I can't cut my hair. You do it. I'm glad that you are the guinea pig for this, sir. Rich has already offered his body on a bunch of other programs, so we'll see.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to shave my head, but I'll cut
No. Donate your hair. That's a cool thing to do.
So if we get to 10 grand, I'm gonna do that, and I haven't cut my hair since I went.
Wow.
I was 17. That's the last time. And even like when my mom got married, I took like a bunch of it off, right? And I took like 1.5 foot of hair off, and I still had
and a ponytail,
hair, right?
Yeah.
And I gave it to her as a wedding gift. And she didn't even notice I had cut my hair. And I was so bummed out. I was like, Mom, you've been after me to cut my hair for freaking years. I cut half of it off for you, and you didn't even notice.
Oh, my Lord.
She was probably just freaked out seeing me in a tux.
Oh, probably that too.
The hair,
you
right?
look so nice. Well, people, let's wrap it up here. I got to go ship some bottles of hot sauce to some backers. Those are going out today.
Going to be in the backstage tonight after 8. If you want to pop in, if you're not doing anything.
We'll see. I don't know, man. Yesterday was.
Him and I going to be there.
Tim and you. Okay, all right. I'll see if I'm still awake. But yeah, maybe I'll pop in. But yes, everybody, we will see you here next week with some added coffee, and we're gonna see how the Roku is going, all that good stuff, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Kiss your babies and be kind to each other. I'll see you next week.
Entertainment Group presents the Madness Comic Network with original programming and additional comic-related content.
Comic Books for Kids provides comic books to kids in hospitals and cancer centers across the U.S. It's a place where we can all work together to make sure every child has a comic book. 100% of all proceeds go towards the kids. It's about making a difference, and while they're in the hospital, allowing them to fly like a superhero, battle dragons, or rescue teddy bears. We are in every state in the country and now support over 160 hospitals. Every month, we add more.
Visit CB